Like based on how you were mothered by your mother in Krishna consciousness, something very valuable that you would like to share with other mothers who are right now nurturing children in Krishna consciousness, some, things that you think, were important to you as a child that your mother did for you?
Sure. I think one of the biggest things my mom did for me and all of my siblings was she would make us feel included. So she would, any festival, she was there. We were going as a family, and even Gornitai were coming with us in their basket. They were in the car with us. No, she always took us to the festival, and we were somehow always involved. And again, she allowed us to participate not just in the temple, but in the home. She would let me assist her cooking, making cookies, doing little things that made me feel like I could contribute, that I had value, that I was able to do something, and, she just offered that. And also, she is a very simple and humble and happy person by nature, and although we grew up in a very, very simple way, we didn't have hardly anything in terms of material prosperity or anything, but there was happiness in the home, there was love in the home, and we learned to be happy without having so much. I learned you don't need to have so much to be happy, and I think that was one of her gifts to me. And also, my mom really values nature and outdoors, so she's a gardener, and she always wanted to do things in a very natural, organic way, so she would grow her own vegetables, and I would have my garden patch as a kid, and I would grow things as well, and I'd spend my pocket money on rose bushes and all kinds of stuff, and art supplies. That was my thing, and she just encouraged that. It was, again, that inclusive mood. I think that was so important. And she also taught us to laugh and be happy, despite adversity. It's not always, although sometimes life can appear very black. We may feel overwhelmed by something, and we don't see, that it's a bigger picture. She somehow had that ability to be happy despite difficulties. I mean, the way we grew up, sometimes I remember it really was that she was going out to sell paintings so that we could have a meal that day. We would be waiting at home. But she was happy despite that. And I just appreciated simple life. And just because of the nature of that kind of life, growing up in such a simple way in the countryside without much, we were forced to take responsibility and be really part of the family, and that we all, whatever we had to offer was important. Someone had to clean, someone had to collect sticks for the fire, so, or we helped her do all those things. Eventually, when we became a little bit more conscious, outside of our playtime. So I think, for me, the biggest thing was, or one of the biggest contributions that she offered, was that mood of inclusiveness. And wanting to create a mood of family, everybody's family, in that sense of bringing people together. And also, there's so many mothers I grew up with in Krishna consciousness, so many other women around me that also nurtured me and offered me different gifts. When I went to the temple, there was one lady, Mahamantra Devi. I grew up in Ireland. She's the head pujari at Govindadweep. And she engaged me in the pujari department from a very early age. So then, because of her, I got to have a taste for pujari service, which I do today, and I'm eternally grateful to her for that. Another lady, Madhuri Devi, she was a fantastic cook. She used to have me come in the kitchen and help her, make whatever she was making for the Sunday feast or cooking for the deities. She would let me, even stir the pots. I know that's not very orthodox, but it nurtured something in my heart. So I do those things today, and it's the grace of those devotees that found that little spark when I was a child. And when I went through my teenage years, I always wanted to be like them. That was my role model. So when we lived far away from the temple, I had memories, those sweet memories of service with those devotees, and that kept me, in this kind of mood of that's what I want to be. So I'm not going to go elsewhere. This is what I want. Yeah, so that was the gifts of so many women, mothers in my life as devotees.